Well, I kind of likened him to the Marlboro guy the first time I saw him because he was wearing the denim jacket and, he salt of the earth kind of guy. He told you what he was thinking, and you could tell he was a visionary when he thought about stuff, and told me about his stories.
He imagines things that no one would imagine, and then he makes them happen because he's also persistent. I think that's a rare trait in someone. Usually visionaries have really big ideas, but they don't always get it done. But he has that rare combination of vision plus execution.
What legacy means to me is I guess be satisfied with what you've done and hope you improve the world a little bit and get ready to leave it.
A legacy lives on forever, and the legacies of America's rural communities deserve to be memorialized and shared with great joy. Together, these stories reveal a beautiful tradition of hard work, perseverance, and love. Big Iron Auctions is proud to share your legacy. In this week's segment of Share Your Legacy, we meet a true visionary. Growing up just outside of Ocheyedan, Iowa, Larry Leckband has led a life full of ingenuity and imagination.
What's your advice to your 14-year-old grandson?
Get rid of the cell phone. My advice to kids today is to get rid of the cell phones or use them for something constructive. I was born on the old farmhouse on June 21st of 33, right at the beginning of the Dust Bowl days and the end of the Depression. Temperature was 104 degrees that day, and that month my mother told me there was 7 days were above 104 degrees. She thought it was my fault, but by the time I was 8, I was the hired man. I even had to cultivate corn already when I was 8 years old. As I progressively grew up, it progressed through the 40s. I started high school in 48. I rented a quarter section in 58, and from that point on I ended up buying that. Later on, started adding ground and machinery. Dusty.
Tell me about this.
It's a probably 1951 International pickup, and my dog was Dusty. His name was Dusty, and we never had enough water the well would go dry for watering the cattle, and I would have to go about every other day, and get a 300-gallon tank of water, and Dusty wanted to go along, and he'd sit on the hood of the pickup. I'd have to be a little careful stepping on a brake so he wouldn't slide off. Ended up buying a Steiger 1150 cubic inch Cummins in it with 525 horsepower, which we used to build the pond out here and got started in the construction business that way. So we were big time in construction, and most of my help was by farmers around the area. When they get done farming, they'd all climb on that machinery and away they go.
When one lives and works in a community every day for 90 years, legend status is possible to achieve. And Larry Leckband has certainly done that.
I went to work for him in 1985. Larry he taught us a lot of stuff over the years. Him and that whole family is good.
Great guy, comes in a lot, always friendly. We keep Miller High Life on hand just for Larry. Yep, good dude, great dude. Kind of like my dad.
Back in the 40s, when I was 6 or 7 years old, I was always out in the iron pile and doing that. In fact, they got pictures of me taking machinery apart that I shouldn't have been taking apart. I've had a desire to build things. I built a lot of stuff over the years. A lot of the stuff they didn't make big enough to suit me. For instance, the corn planter over there and the sprayers, 90-foot sprayer boom before the biggest one was 40 or 50 feet.
The words I use to describe my dad are words we've been saying in our family for a couple decades now. He is the world's oldest juvenile delinquent. and we love him.
I started tractor pulling in '59. Decided I wanted a real light tractor that I could weight properly with as much horsepower as I could get. With a 345 horse, 327 Chevy engine in it. It was nasty.
The Shelliver is an Oliver conversion with a car engine in it, and it was his toy when he was in his pulling days. One of his prized possessions. It always sits in the front corner of the big machine shed, and everybody knows about it.
So this is the Shelliver. What made you put a car engine in a tractor, an Oliver for that matter?
Since I was old enough to know any kind of tractors, nothing has ever had enough power to suit me. Anyway, a little story with it. And pretty soon come the cop.
Just you.
Come the cop, and he comes right up to the fender and he says, "What's going on here?" He says, "I'll escort you back to Milford." So I passed him. And we went back to Milford 45 miles an hour with him behind and the lights on. That was the beginning of the Shelliver.
And that's why they call you the oldest juvenile delinquent to this day.
I think you're probably right.
Larry Leckband fits the bill as a modest, hardworking rural American. His legacy is perhaps best found in the way he lives his life every single day.
He's been a great dad to all of us. There are things that he said that I say to my grandchildren now. He says things like, "Never ever ask directions, just keep driving, you'll end up somewhere." And he just has all these wonderful little bits of wisdom that are so great. I would say that my dad's chief legacy, and I think I speak for my sisters too when I say this, is that he taught us how to be good people and how to have integrity in our dealings with other people, and to value competence in the way we work and in all the things we do. I love my dad. He's amazing. I love my dad.
What can you do at 89 years old? Just get up in the morning and go to work. Do something constructive.